All right, let's go ahead and kick this off. I wanted to start by giving you a quick roadmap and talk about the background of the project, the reason I'm doing this, some of the things that I'm going to be measuring, monitoring, what my goals are, and what this is ultimately going to look like. So, how this project started was I was at the 20 Books to 50K conference in Vegas, and I was having some conversations with an urban fantasy author who's very successful. And she was just giving me some pointers on some of the things that she's done in her career to be successful and giving me some feedback on my existing urban fantasy novels. And, I won't share her name, but I will say that some of the things that she told me were very mind expanding. So the way she approached writing and marketing was just so different than kind of how I approached it. And so I didn't want to copy her, but I thought, okay, how could I approach my fiction differently? Because right now my fiction, it does okay, but it's not. Definitely doesn't bring home the bacon for me just yet. And so I thought, okay, what if I tried something new? What if I gave myself a clean start? I've written 41 books at this point. What if I tried to do something just a little different? And so that's how this project is born. What if I committed to one genre? What would that look like? And that's tough for me to say because I don't know about you guys, but I'm one of those people who's always called myself a serial genre hopper. I could never just commit to one genre, and I've said that publicly. But what if I did that in the short term? What would that look like? What if I did an experiment just to see what would happen? That's how this project was born. Some wheels started turning in my head, and I started thinking, okay, I actually have an interesting idea here that's worth exploring. So the goal with this project is to launch a new fiction pen name dedicated solely to urban fantasy and develop a readership that will help me sell more fiction and put me on the path to financial freedom. The launch date will be sometime between March and April of 2019, and it's going to be 99% transparent. About the only thing I will not share here are my ultimate sales numbers, and that's just for personal reasons. Now, why urban fantasy? Why would I pick urban fantasy? So, the title of this course is called How to Write to Market Without Selling Your Soul, and I have some things that I'm just not going to compromise on. One of those things is I have to write what I enjoy. And I seriously enjoy reading urban fantasy and I enjoy writing it. So I'm going to pick a genre that I enjoy both writing and reading in so that this is fun for me. I don't want to ever get to a point where I'm dependent on what the market wants and I'm just having to write novels that, I don't want to write. I mean, that's no fun, right? So this is a genre that personally I enjoy. So that's the goal. As I think about my existing catalog and where I am right now, the first thing I did was I took a baseline of where I am. So, where is Michael Aran today in terms of audience, platform, all that good stuff? And so, I've got a portfolio of 41 books under three different pen names: Michael Aran, ML Ron for some of my author level up books, and then Elliot Parker, which is a pen name I use for poetry. So 41 books altogether, so I've got a pretty robust catalog. And then I looked at my audience. So for my fiction, right now I've got 179 sci-fi and fantasy email subscribers, which it's almost nothing. It's really not much. And those are both sci-fi and fantasy readers. So I think I actually have slightly more sci-fi readers than fantasy readers. Right now, my email open rates are about 65% open and 15% click, which are slightly above industry average. But I think the big thing to take away here is that I don't have really, so to speak, of any dedicated urban fantasy readers. So essentially, what I'm doing here by starting a new pen name and starting a new genre, I'm starting from scratch. It's as if I'm a debut author, really, if you look at my fiction platform. And as far as experience goes, I've got 5 years of experience writing and publishing, and I have a pretty good idea of what doesn't work. I've had some books that have done very well, and I've had some books that have not done very well. And so I like to think that I've got the art of writing down to a science in terms of producing a book. It's like it's almost nothing for me to come up with a book idea and make it happen very quickly. So I definitely have that going for me. As far as platform goes, I have about 7,000 YouTube subscribers, which is not very much. And then I have the Writer's Journey podcast, which is a podcast for my readers. and that's about 500 downloads per month. And the reason I include the YouTube and Writer's Journey podcast in here is because this is why I'm not technically starting from scratch, because I am going to be talking about this pen name and the project on my YouTube and podcast. So what I wanted to do was figure out what my impact is right now with YouTube and the Writer's Journey, and then when I do launch the book, I can measure that. And then I can take out YouTube and take out the Writer's Journey, and I can figure out what their impact is. And so then I can take that out, and then I can give you more accurate results in terms of, okay, this is how I would have done if I didn't have my YouTube channel and my podcast. Because I know some people are going to say, oh, well, that's easy for you to say. You've got 7,000 YouTube subscribers and 500 podcast listeners per month, and so on and so forth. But I just wanted to make sure that I measured that so that I was very clear in terms of just how much of an impact those actually will have on my sales. So the future state for me, in terms of vision, this is what I'm envisioning if this project is successful. And that is, in 5 to 10 years, I want to become a juggernaut in the urban fantasy genre. And I'm going to do that through 4 different elements. The first is becoming a student of the genre. So I plan to have a deep knowledge of the genre, the tropes, the writing techniques that hook readers, reader expectations, and all things urban fantasy, which will give me a competitive advantage. I truly believe that if you're going to write to market, you want to know the market that you're going to write in, right? I mean, it just makes sense, but a lot of people don't always take the time to master the markets that they're in. And so if I'm going to do this and if I'm going to do it right, I'm going to be a student of the genre and I'm going to learn everything that the genre has to teach me. Also, I want to have relatable and compelling heroes. I like to think that I've developed a track record of this with the books that I've written so far. So my hope is that the hero of this first series that I'm going to write is relatable and compelling, and that is a steady and consistent element that you will see in any of the books that I write in the urban fantasy genre. Third is unified and cohesive packaging. So that's really just as simple as making sure that all my covers gel together no matter what I'm writing, and so that you can look at that cover and say, okay, that's a blank blank cover, whatever my pen name ends up being. I believe that if you can bring all those 3 together, you can have a gotta have it factor, right? So the books will be easy to buy with one click. With a series, people will look at one book and then they'll want to buy the rest of the series. Like, that's the kind of brand that I want to develop in the urban fantasy genre, and that's how I want readers to interact with me and my books. So really, this boils down to one simple question. What can I learn by specializing in urban fantasy? That's the big idea here. If I'm going to write to market, if I'm going to commit to a genre, what can I learn from doing that? And how can that give me a competitive advantage? How can I develop new titles that are going to hook readers? Are there writing techniques that are popular in urban fantasy that I can use to hook people? Will this create new opportunities for me in terms of promotions and collaborations, right? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but those are some of the things that are kind of just going through my head as I think about this, is what kind of things can I learn at a deep level about doing this project? Because ultimately, this is a data play for me. This is really just a big experiment to see what's possible. So I have some assumptions. I like to ask questions but don't answer them, because I think that the journey in and of itself will lead me to the answers. But in doing this, I do have some assumptions, and I'm going to be testing those assumptions when we get to the end of the project. And that is, one pen name in one genre will eliminate reader confusion, thus making it easier to market my books to them. That's an assumption, but I do believe that if I only have one offering, or a couple of offerings, core offerings to readers, they're instantly going to know that my book is urban fantasy and that I'm an urban fantasy author. And if they're urban fantasy readers, then they know that this is a book that they want to buy. Long term, I'll only be successful if I become a student of the genre. So consistent reading plus a purposeful study of the bestseller's craft equals a stronger foundation. Again, I just don't believe that you can write to market and do it meaningfully and intentionally without having a really good understanding of the market that you're reading. And that includes past, present, and future, reading every book in the genre that you can, and then analyzing those books and studying them to figure out what readers really like about those books or don't like about them. And then being single-minded about urban fantasy will make it harder to make critical mistakes. And so I'll talk a little bit more about what I mean by being single-minded on the next slide, but I'm that's really going to be my core focus. Like everything urban fantasy in terms of what I'm reading, who I'm associating with, what kind of authors I'm collaborating with, like that's the sole focus. So the next assumption is, the fundamentals are everything. Good story, good cover, but only if they're narrowly tailored to urban fantasy readers. So it's okay to write a good story, but I want to write a good story that urban fantasy readers are going to enjoy, right? There's a difference between a good story and a good story that readers of the market are going to want. And so my assumption is that I really need to be really honed in on what urban fantasy readers want in order to make sure that I have a story that they're going to want to read. The next assumption that I have is that the urban fantasy genre is bigger than it looks, and there are many pockets of underserved readers. I just have to find them. So this is purely an assumption, but just taking a look at the genre, it looks like there's definitely big concentrations of where a lot of the books that are selling are, but it seems like there's lots of opportunities for innovation and growth that I think readers would actually buy. Now, that's just an assumption. I could be wrong about some of those assumptions, but I do think that this genre is bigger than it looks, and I do think that there are subgenres and trends and things that have not been capitalized on yet. And so what does that look like? I don't know yet, but I'll find out. So those are my assumptions for the project. These could be right or these could be wrong, but right or wrong, there's a lot that we can learn from testing them. So I talked about being single-minded. I'm going to be single-minded about urban fantasy, so that's going to be my sole focus. So what does this mean? It means, first and foremost, I'm only going to read urban fantasy novels. So I'm going to be reading a lot of books. I read 2 to 3 books per week. So I'm basically going to be swapping out what I'm reading with urban fantasy. So 2 to 3 urban fantasy books a week. That's going to be my sole focus from a reading perspective. Second, when I'm writing the book, I'm going to be getting feedback from avid urban fantasy alpha and beta readers. So I'm looking for people who strictly read urban fantasy, like those hardcore urban fantasy fans. I'm going to get feedback from them as I develop my novel to help me make sure that I'm not making any of those critical mistakes and that I'm narrowly tailoring what I'm writing to their interests. Third, I'm going to get my books edited by experienced urban fantasy editors. That's something I haven't done in the past, right? So I've just kind of looked for editors just based on their background and the price and all that, but haven't necessarily looked for an editor based on what genres they edit. So that's going to be kind of an interesting experience, right? So having an editor that not only is competent at copy editing, but can also give you insights into the genre that you're writing in, because either they read it or they've edited a lot of it. I think that could be very valuable. And then last but not least, I'm going to have covers by experienced urban fantasy cover designers. So that's going to be another interesting, cool thing. I've got a really good cover designer lined up for this first series that I'm going to do, and we'll see how that goes. So what's my plan? How am I going to carry all this out? So on this slide, I just wanted to talk about the different components of what I'm going to be doing. So the first thing I had to do was create a plan. So I had to create some goals, a timeline, and some detailed steps on what I was going to do with each part. So this project should go from January through probably the end of March or beginning of April. I talked about being a student of urban fantasy, so that's going to include reading traditional and indie books. And then it's also going to include taking detailed notes. So analyzing what I've learned, not spending too much time analyzing, but just noting what I've learned and looking for trends and all that sort of stuff. And then mapping out the market. So what does the urban fantasy market actually look like? Like, how can I start to develop my own data and analytics in terms of what I'm reading, what's selling, what readers are asking for? And so what that looks like is mapping out the different subgenres, keywords, and categories to see where I can find the opportunities, and then gathering data and analytics from people that have already done it, like K-Lytics, and if there's any reader reports out there, author earnings, those sorts of things, anything that can give me some insights into the market. And then it's time to design the experience at that point. So I need to determine what my pen name is going to be, determine a pilot series, figure out who my main character is going to be. I'm going to talk about all that and my thought process for all of that. And so once I've done that, the next step is to write the book. And so the big question I am asking myself when I'm writing the book, which is something I have never done before, but it's going to be this. It's, can I test whether the book holds readers' attention, and can I fix potential problems early? So to do this, I'm going to borrow a technique from my friend Craig Martell, and he uses what's called a minimum viable product. And so what he does is he sends, I think it's the first couple of chapters, to his alpha readers, is what he called, or what they're technically called. And they basically tell him whether or not that sample kept their interest. If it did, he continues writing. If it doesn't, then he goes back to the drawing board. That's really interesting. So I'm going to test that. We're going to see how that goes. I have never done that before. Like, I've never released something to readers before having the entire book written. So that's a little bit of a pain point for me. So we're going to struggle through that. And then I'm going to write the book in public. So beta readers in my Facebook group are going to have access to reading the book and reading the chapters and giving feedback. How I'm going to find those beta readers, I haven't figured that out yet. But I'm going to talk through my thought process, and I do have some thoughts on how I can find some. And then obviously targeted editing from a copy editor and proofreader is something that is a non-negotiable for me. So the book will be read by alpha readers, read by beta readers, copy edited, and then proofread as well, just to make sure that it is as high quality as it can possibly be. All right, so part 2 of the plan. I have this lovely quote from Joanna Penn here. Marketing is sharing what you love with people who will appreciate hearing about it. That's exactly what I plan to do with this project. So from a marketing perspective, I'm going to have world-class book covers. So James T. Egan of Bookfly will be doing the book covers for this series. And then I'll also be working with Christian Bentulan of Covers by Christian. He's going to be doing the cover for my reader magnet. So I plan to have some pretty good covers here. And then thoughtful editing. So I believe that by leveraging urban fantasy-focused alpha readers, beta readers, and editors, I can position myself to win. Again, it goes back to not making any critical mistakes or writing a story that urban fantasy readers don't want or that they're not used to. I think that will help minimize that risk. And then smart marketing. I plan on using the most up-to-date marketing promotion strategies and tactics. We'll figure out what those are, and I will be using Kindle Unlimited for a time, and try to go for BookBub and all the stuff that a lot of indie authors are doing. I'm gonna try, and I'm gonna try some other things as well. I think that this is the most elusive part. What will work and what won't, I don't know, but we'll find out together. So I have some non-negotiables. These are the things I will not do, no matter what anyone says. So these are just my personal principles. They may not be yours, but they are certainly mine, and I just believe very much in not ever crossing these lines in the sand. The first is that I will not write in hot urban fantasy subgenres just because they're hot, i.e. reverse harems. I'm just not going to follow trends. That's just, I'm not a trend chaser. I'm not doing this to chase trends. I'm doing this long term to build a writing career. And I do not believe that you can build a writing career by chasing the hot new thing just because it's hot. Now, if that dovetails with something I'm interested in, that's different, but I'm not going to write something that I don't enjoy. Next, I'll write what interests me. Third, I'll write what I know, because I think that's important, especially in a project like this. I will not mislead readers in any way about what my book is and is not, and I will not engage in any marketing practices that violate any book retailer's terms of service, period, even if it's financially lucrative to do so. So I've seen some things out there on Amazon and seen some things that authors are doing that, are potentially going to catch up with them. I'm not going to participate in any of that crap. And then the main character of my book will be African American. And if the project fails for any of those reasons, that's okay, because, as I said before, these are my lines in the sand. So that's my plan for this project and what I'm planning on doing. I did put together a template for those who are in the course. If you would like to download it, you can download it below this video. If you'd like access to the course, and if you're watching this on YouTube, it may not be free when you're watching this. I can't guarantee that, but you can click that link and that will give you access to the course, as well as the rest of the videos in the course that will let you know how this project pans out. So thanks for watching.